and welcome to my channel. My name's Rachel. I am a speech language pathologist turned homeschool mom to two boys, a first grader and a pre-Ker. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about Gather Round's curriculum in the forest, letters and numbers, level 1. Let's go. Let's talk about this curriculum by Gather Round. I originally bought this for my pre-Ker when he was a 3-year-old, because this is recommended for like the 3 to 4 age range. So I got it for him as a 3-year-old. We looked at it. He was like not about sitting down doing workbook pages at all at that time. So I was like, you know what? We'll wait till he's a little older, a little more mature. We'll try it again. We started doing this back in August and it said it was 13 weeks long. We took like 25 weeks. Oops. Honestly, we, in the beginning of the year, did this maybe like once, twice a week. And then as he got a little older and as my first grader got more independent with some of his subjects, then we were able to do it the appropriate schedule, which is the 4 days a week of the read alouds, and then the 4 days a week of the workbook pages, and then the 5th day is a review day. For the teacher's guide, this is basically zoology, and it goes over forest animals, and it has a little blurb on an animal, and then the next day you learn a little more about that animal. The 3rd day of the week you switch to a different animal, a little blurb. The next day, a little blurb about that second animal, and then the 5th day you kind of review the concepts that you went over, asking facts about the first animal, facts about the second animal, and then any letters that you learned about in the workbook. That's basically the setup for this curriculum. For example, that very first week, you're learning about the fox for days 1 and 2. Then on days 3 and 4 of that week, you learn about the wolf. And then on that 5th day is a let's review day. And each of these days of read alouds does include some 3 questions to ask your child about the animal you learned about. And then also it has a little Bible section, which is really nice, just to bring everything back to God. But yeah, overall, the teacher's guide, it was good information for a little intro into zoology and had some good questions. Now, the child's workbook, they're broken up into a part A, and a part B. This specific curriculum goes over the letters A through M, okay? And it has basically the same setup for each letter. So it starts with the letter, it introduces it, what it looks like, the uppercase and lowercase. It then goes into a book that you can make for each letter, and then it also has just some like kind of like standard workbook pages of like matching an animal to a letter that it begins with. It has cutout activities where you cut out the letters you're learning and match them to different pictures. For example, B, you would match it to a picture of a bat. D, dog, that type of thing. So very practical, simple workbook pages for a child. So I would say this is just like a standard workbook that you typically see for pre-Kers, preschool level. So this workbook did teach my child the phonics skills. However, I will say, as a speech language pathologist myself, I was heavily drilling these concepts throughout, way more so than it cued for in this curriculum. So I was, every time we heard, if we were on the letter D, every time we said the letter D, I would, repeat it, D, and I would make up, as he's coloring the pictures, for example, for the D words, I would make up more words that begin with D. I would go above and beyond. If we were really focusing on a certain letter, I would really make it over the top that we were learning about the letter D, and that D says duh like probably 100 times. Really, really drilling those skills. Over the top, yes, but is it teaching my child? Yes. So that's the letters part. of my review. Now the numbers part, for me, this curriculum was way too easy on the numbers level. It was at a level that my child knew all the concepts already. We're doing a different math curriculum, which is fantastic. So for the letters portion, sometimes we just skipped those pages because he knew how to do all those concepts. He was like, oh, that's the number 1. Oh, that's the number 2. And it was kind of like, okay, we can just skip that. And like, for the example, the patterns, like he knows how to do patterns. So we just kind of skipped those pages and focused on the phonics portion of this curriculum. Now, one thing I will say, this had some great life skill lessons. For example, it had a fire safety lesson, which was fantastic. It got even my first grader, I showed them how to do stop, drop, and roll. It was a very funny lesson. But yeah, a really good life skill lesson for sure in the fire safety. And I think there were some other really nice life skill lessons in this curriculum. But overall, was it like the best? Was it the best pre-K curriculum available for 3 to 4-year-olds? I would say not, but average, yeah. Like, yeah. If you want to try Gather Round, if you're a fan of wanting to try it out, that's why I chose this, because I wanted to just kind of see what Gather Round had to offer. And I think the pictures are beautiful. The illustrations are beautiful. It's engaging. So those are that's a nice little bonus to curriculum when it's not too animated, I would say. Some curriculum can be too animated. It can, cartoonish, that's the word I'm looking for, cartoonish. This was not. This was beautiful pictures of illustrations of beautiful animals. So I think that was a huge positive for this particular curriculum. So I think that is my thoughts on this curriculum. I am gonna be doing some of the In the Farm, which is the letters and numbers 2 with my child, but probably skipping, like I said, skipping the math because he knows those concepts. So just sticking with the letters portion, the phonics portion. And I do think this curriculum, the way I'm doing it, really drilling in those sound skills, is gonna prepare my child for kindergarten, the curriculum that we have set up for his kindergarten curriculum. So I do think it is setting him up for success, but just with me knowing how to really drill those skills for his phonics learning. So I think that is everything for this video of my review of Gather Round's Letters and Numbers Level 1 in the Forest. I hope you got some good information from this video. Let me know in the comments, down in the comments, if you have any specific questions about this curriculum. I'd be more than happy to answer them. Well, with that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are. Thanks for watching. Bye.